I think it's good afternoon, eh? It's past 12, yes. Good afternoon. We are talking about ICT, telecommunications, and everything. And it's very difficult to speak about these things without touching security aspect of it. Because we need to secure our critical infrastructure, we need to secure the way people communicate, the way people participate on different issues online and everything. So this panel discussion is quite very important, and I believe that with good friends of mine that I have here who are very good, we are going to learn a lot of things today. And at the end of this panel session, I believe we probably go out not the same like when we get into this particular session. So to start, I will introduce myself. I'm Yusuph Kileo, a Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, representing AfICTA at the moment. With me, I have Rachael, then I have Peter, my brother there, Munaku, and of course, Divyesh. And they will introduce themselves, starting with Rachael. And as you're giving an introduction, I'm aware that the last time we had an introduction, you were working very hard on 5Gs and everything. And I remember you did a good job there. So I would love, as you introduce yourself, speak a little bit about how do you think this 5G can be well secured, the perspective people have that these things probably is going to disrupt our security and so on and so on. How can you talk about it as well as you introduce yourself? And also, this is for all. When you introduce yourself, you can tell us what you have done in terms of security in your organizations. And of course, how did that particular thing that you have done has impacted our community? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I think right now is in the afternoon already. So my name is Rachael Shitanda. I'm representing United States International University. I'm a security analyst, and I've been a very good friend to Kileo for a long time. We have interacted in very many forums in Kenya and other places, and I want to say it has been a pleasure for you to invite me here. So the last time we were talking with Kileo, it was about 5G and how 5G as a technology will bring a very big spectrum of possibility to everyone. And it's quite welcoming that African nations are started implementing and testing out the technology. And I have to say, with technology, the aspect of data and the integrity of system cannot be ignored. And so we are still vulnerable, irrespective of how fast or how slow the technology is. So, so when I was coming to Kenya, someone asked me who won the election. And it rang, because you know when you're checking out at the border, they ask, what are you coming to do? What do you do? And I was a security analyst. They're like, yeah, we want people like you. So who won the election? So that what I'm trying to pose here for us is systems should be secure for everyone to trust a process, to trust a service, and also to trust the product that is being offered. So with secure system, comes integrity, comes trust from the consumers, from the people that are dependent on the solution. So what I want to say is that as stakeholders in technology and telecoms, we're given a task to build systems that are secured, infrastructure that is also secured. This goes to both software and also hardware equipments, because we have a perception of thinking only the internet has vulnerability, but then equipment also have vulnerability. I've just heard the MC saying someone is blocking the internet. So it's maybe from their hardware, I don't know. But So that is something that should be in our minds. What are we doing as a community in building governance policies and infrastructures that are secure? So thank you, Kileo.
Peter?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Peter Kaaya from Arusha Technical College, one of the oldest government autonomous owned institution. With reference to Mr. Kileo's question on the issues of 5G, I think one of the biggest issue ahead is on the aspect of data protection. I was just trying to check on Tanzania Computer Emergency Response Team of TCRA. For 5 days, the report that have been out 5 days, 2 days before, from 28th to 3rd of this September, network attacks are almost 220,000. Malicious software attacks are over 1,100,000. There are quite a lot of web attacks, and the government invests a lot, and different companies are investing a lot in securing their systems. So with our institutions, the best approach we have been trying to do is that we deal with collecting and securing data of the students, of which a need to resolve this issue as the government incurs quite a lot of money to have these skills to solve security challenges. We thought of coming up with cybersecurity and the digital forensic programs that actually helps to provide the skills that are sufficient to resolving the problems. As we are going now to the 5G, a need to have competent and enough skills that are worthy to solve these challenges within the industry is inevitable. And that cut across to our institutions to bridge the gap between industry and academia linkage, of which with that, we can provide the needs and demands of the industry, especially to the skills that are getting out of the products of the graduates that can be able to resolve the challenges that are ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. My brother Munaku, and I think my brother, when you're introducing yourself and give an overview of what you're doing in terms of security, I understand that we have in Tanzania you are coming up with a strong possibility for us to connect different institutions so that we can be able to collaborate more, we can be able to do things in a faster and a very good way. So I think that also can be able to start it as you're introducing yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kileo. My name is Mulembwa Munaku. I'm the director of ICT from the Ministry of Information, Communication and Information Technology. The broader mandate of the ministry basically is to set up the...
Divyesh Panchal, and I am the Managing Director and CEO for Infotech Africa Limited, and we are based out in Kenya. We are into cybersecurity solutions, and from a very young age, to be very honest. And as my friend just said right now, that when we talk about the crimes, the tools to do the crimes are absolutely free of cost available in the market. But when to secure that, or if we want to do some prevention, okay, then the cost is too high. Okay, so what we're doing is, see, the major problem where we are lacking behind today is, the knowledge, or you can say the education. That's why being a part of an cybersecurity industry, we have taken one initiative, what we have started in Kenya. Every 6 months, in maximum of the biggest universities, we are doing some seminars. Okay, we go there personally, we sit with the students, we explain them what are the threats you are open to. Okay, and basic steps, like there are some free steps what we can do in our day-to-day life, but we are not aware about it. Okay, so we explain them how to manage it absolutely without any cost, and how we can be rest assured that yes, at least 70% of the thing we can be secured by our own self if we give if we provide a proper knowledge to the students. So that's what initiative we have taken in Kenya, that we go to every university every 6 months, we go and explain them what are the threats you're open to and how do we prevent it. Apart from that, that's not the only solution, to be very honest. Because if we are heading towards technology, the people who are creating crimes, they are 10x ahead of us. Let's accept that fact. Yeah? But to prevent that, okay, there are maximum tools which are being available in the market, and there are some solutions which are already available in the market, and we have been providing in Kenya. Like, you know it very well, how we are getting a revolution in the cybersecurity industry of Kenya. Like the hardest product, or we can say the hardcore products what are being available in the market, we are making it affordable, okay, in a very pocket-friendly manner to the corporates as well and the government as well. So that's how, we can cover up the gap. Because sometimes what happens is we as, when as a corporate or, any big institute, when we try to look towards a product, we end up looking towards a brand, not towards the solution what is being provided. So I think that gap we need to clear out. Okay, and we are there to help out, and the solution is already been there in the market. Okay. So that way we can do it, and at the same time, just education is very important. Like maximum, I'll give you a very small example. Okay, like maximum of the people available over here as well in the room today, okay, our passwords would be something related to our date of birth, something related to our names, correct? So that's a very basic thing. Kileo, what we need to take care of, because any hacker, the first thing is your name, your date of birth, and mismatch, and it's out. So we need to change that. So what we do is we educate in universities to the students, taking a free initiative, okay, from our side to the society, and we go and explain them. And in the rural areas as well, we have done couple of, like tomorrow itself, we have one event in Kijado, where my team will be having a small event on cybersecurity and the awareness, what exactly we need to do and how we can prevent it. But yes, coming back to your question that there are many expensive products. I definitely agree, okay, there are many expensive products, but there are other tools also available in the market which can cover up that gap when you talk about the price constraint. And easily affordable price, you can get a good products on your table. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Panchal. I want to move to Peter. Peter, one of the bigger challenge when we talk about fighting cybercrime in our country, this is a global challenge. We have what we call skill shortage. People are not enough. Criminals, they fight hard, and we can't really fight them back because of skill shortage. And you mentioned that what you do is you are doing the capacity building, helping us build new people in our to combat cyber crimes. But now again, there is this challenge where we produce people, we expect that they are going to help us fight cyber crimes, but unfortunately, when they go to the industry, they don't deliver on our expectations, because probably what they have learned in school is quite opposite from what we expect from them, and these kind of challenges. I think I've heard it as well. So, as you are building, or you are doing the capacity building in Arusha Tech, your suggestion, what do you think we can do better to make sure that we have the right skill set that can be produced in our universities, and that they can be able to support us in the fight against cyber crimes? So your views, the thing that probably we miss, we need to correct, and challenges that you probably you have encounter, and probably you have suggestion of what better we can do to make sure that things are going well. Peter.
Thank you. I think the biggest problem we have is when we are developing the programs, whether it's technical programs, vocational, or bachelor's programs, we mostly don't involve the industry. And bridging the gap between academia and the industry is to fully engage the industries, the experts and professionals from the beginning, especially when we need or we assess or we seek the needs and demands of the industries. To ask from the professionals what skills are needed in the industry. Then what potential areas of specialization are expected out of these expected graduates. If we involve the industries and different experts and professionals from the industry from the beginning, all the way throughout the document process of developing the curriculums, we'll be able to provide the right skills that are needed in the market. And that helps a lot in solving the challenge of unemployment. We provide entrepreneurial skills in programs specifically, but subject to the right problems in the market. But for the case of our institutions, it's the high time we have to fully engage the industries, whether it's from the training, the skills, and all aspects. But for instance, the NACTIVATE, our accreditation body, provides the flexibility of the institutions to do continuous review. The minor reviews are flexible, of which a need to engage the industries even during on training is very worthy, because technologies are changing throughout and every time. So at the institution level, we have to change, subject to change in science, technology, and innovation pertaining to the students and the needs of the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. Actually, he reminds me, I was a student then. I won't mention the college. I was doing computer engineering, and during my studies, I was taught the subject called workshop technology, that you need to, it was a very complicated subject, yet I'm doing something else. So it was actually, we have challenge that we give, or we train our people with a lot of different skills apart from what we expect them to get. And then when they go to the industry, probably they can't deliver based on our expectation. Thank you very much, Peter. So to Rachael. Rachael, you have heard Panchal mentioned of awareness. And awareness become one of the key things that they can reduce the rate of cyber crimes in any country if it is done well. And good thing the Director of ICT, Minister of ICT, mentioned clearly that we, in Tanzania, for example, there is a communication, cybersecurity communication strategy. Basically, it's about awareness. So in your view, what do you think the challenge that we have, because we see a lot of initiative when it comes to awareness, but then people, they can't change based on our we can't see those changes that we expect them we expect to see from them. So what do you think it's a challenge, and how we can do better in terms of providing better awareness so that we can actually bring that gap closer and be able to protect our critical infrastructure? Rachael.
Okay, thank you so much, Kileo, for the question. First, I would want to reiterate on my two colleagues. One was the first point that actually it's the people that we need to think about when we're thinking about security. Okay, so it comes back to the question of awareness and what are we doing. In Kenya, they already have the Data Protection Act, but I just have to say that I am very sure that if I go and ask my mother, who is a regular user in the internet, who uses mobile banking, who uses the internet to transact her business, she has no idea of the existence of the act or what kind of risks are involved when she's engaging in things. So it all comes to the need of us as a society and also us as a group of people who have the knowledge and understanding of this kind of risk to educate our people. We can do this by either formulating policies and making it aware, like making the community aware of the kind of risk involved. I'll say, for instance, you have seen lately there's a lot of risk when it comes to mobile. Mostly even in USSD, there's codes in USSD being sent, links in messaging, and you're told you've done this and this to click this link. And I think this one also comes also with the operators. What are you doing to safeguard information of the people who are generally not aware or ignorant of the fact that this risk exists? How are you doing in educating them about the trends? Because they are evolving every day. Like if you wake up today, whatever you saw in the news today on the risk, on the attacks, they are very different. Each day there's something different that we are facing as a community in tech and also in specifically in tech security and product security. So there is a need for stakeholders to educate our customers and also the need for the government also to be involved in creating policies and educating the masses on the risk. Also, I will also reiterate to my colleague on skill sets. There's also a very big gap when it comes to skill set of people who are able to analyze risk, give good mitigation for system and also for companies to safeguard themselves. And so, as I told you earlier about the cybersecurity program that I'm involved in, that is a paramount function of a group. So it's to bridge technology gaps that are created by lack of cybersecurity trainings, which are very evident when it comes to our trainings. For instance, I know you did computer security and I did computer science, but at no point was cybersecurity a key component of the training courses. So you have a developer that has a system, develop a system that has loopholes that are vulnerable, create vulnerability. You have a network engineer that is very good at network engineering, but then they create loopholes to the system and also to the network because they have no skills when it comes to security. So there is need for all of us as stakeholders to remove the biasness of not wanting to know more about the risks that are around us. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. I think also I'll add, I think what we do wrong is that we really can't, we deliver awareness without knowing our target audience. Because different people have a way to understand security. So you talk with, for example, kids, you talk with people who cannot understand ICT very well. And unfortunately, the language we use to them is something that they cannot grasp and be able to utilize those knowledge. And in terms of, you spoke about cybersecurity being involved in different courses in universities. I think that's a very good thing because I spoke the other time with my former college that I did my diploma, and I told them that it's crazy when you see a course, let's say computer science, that people are taught many things, but then you lack security modules in that particular courses. Every IT course, every ICT related course, I think we need to have these modules embedded to our institutions. To my brother Munaku, collaboration is key. I have my say, I always say that if we always have to collaborate internally and externally for us to meet a needed target. But unfortunately, you find this is very hard to happen in most of the countries. People are not collaborating. Companies cannot share intelligence and info. You find one company has been hit by cyber attacks, the next company will also get the same challenge, hit with a similar attack the next morning. They don't share, they don't collaborate. What do you think it's a problem? And what can we do better to make sure that this problem is eliminated? Munaku.
The problem is mindset. The problem is mindset because if you check a decade or 2 decades ago, the issue of cybersecurity was on individuals. Individuals means that individual institution, the concentration was in the individual institution. But I mean, for the current era, whereby we have moved into networks, into the integration, into cross-border data flows between one country and the other. Now the issue have just moved. Now it's the trend now have moved. I mean, from individual concentration into a collaboration in order we address the issue of cybersecurity. Now, if countries will proceed to think in isolation, we will not solve the puzzle. The only way is just to put collaborative frameworks that will assist us basically, I mean, to move forward. And I can give an example, I mean, for the issue of critical infrastructure. You know that each country have got some critical infrastructure. And it could be systems, could be, the infrastructure. Some of them are owned by, the public. Some of them are owned by the private. Well, for instance, if I can take an example of telco operators in any country. If they are unable to provide services, for security. Take an example of operators in any countries. If they are unable to provide services due to security matters, it affects the whole society. There is social disruption, economic disruption, financial issue, tax issue. So we cannot say that this is the operator's infrastructure basically should be secured by operators. So even the governments basically they need to put measures on how the critical infrastructure basically could be protected. And this goes hand in hand with your previous question. You asked about the academia. That what is the problem that the graduates they don't fit in the industry. It is good that I'm coming from the academia. I was teaching at the University of Dar es Salaam for 16 years, computer science, for 16 years. One of the challenges is the same, is collaboration. Collaboration not only in terms of creation of curriculum, but collaboration in terms of the full cycle of operation. Not only the curriculum, because one of the challenges in cybersecurity, sometimes it is expensive. It is expensive sometimes to have experts on that particular area. And the question is such that why don't we have experts? One of them is the cost. Now we need strategies on how best we can reduce the cost for the training. One of them is partnering collaborating with the private sector, basically to because they have experience, they have skills. Basically, they can have part-time time to come and the skills. So collaboration is the key, basically within institutions, within countries, and across countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother Munaku. I think we don't have enough time. Huh? Yes, we don't have enough time. And it was a great panel. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating. And just one last thing I would love to emphasize. We have a lot of challenges. Many people keep saying that we have criminals out there, we have cyber crimes happening here and there, but unfortunately they don't see any action. So I would call upon everyone in this room to understand that no one can act against any cybercrime unless you go and report an incident. So I call upon you guys to keep on reporting incident whenever you face one, so that one can, so that the institution dedicated to fight cybercrime will be able to help you solving your challenge and bring the person behind causing the troubles to book. After saying so, allow me to thank you, everyone. And let me hand over the mic to my brother, Rao. Thank you.
A big round of applause, please, for Yusuph and these outstanding 5 experts. Unfortunately, we're running a bit behind schedule, so there's no time for Q&A, but please do catch Yusuph and his panelists over lunch for more questions and details. We now move on to, please join the audience, and we now move on to the solution showcases. I'm going to invite our speakers from the companies listed over here. Alvin from Intelsat, Link Global, Mobile Technologies, ABS, Infobip, NICTBB, and Thuraya. Can we get the podium up here so they can do their presentations? And let's invite the first one. Alvin, would you like to come up on stage? A big round of applause, please, for our first solutions case provider. Each of them is going to speak for only 3 minutes each so that we can all get to lunch after that. But please do catch them afterwards for lunch.